You've got one kid, so when is a good time to have another? No matter when you choose, there are pros and cons. In March's issue of American Baby magazine, there is some advice on when the right time is to expand your family. And for more now, we're joined by Kate Kelly, managing editor of American Baby. Good morning.
Good morning.
So no matter when you choose, really, good time, bad time?
It's always going to work. It's just, what kind of lifestyle are you looking for?
And so what kind of things do you have? Are there any health things that you should look at?
Well, yeah, there are some things in terms of your pregnancy. Back-to-back pregnancies of less than a year, actually of less than 18 months,
okay,
can lead to a higher risk of premature delivery, uterine rupture, like other things that you probably don't want. And then weirdly, and I don't know why, a spacing of more than 6 years apart may also not be optimal. But, the risks are rare. I mean, there are numbers there to support that, but no reason to worry so much about that.
Yeah, worrying is not good. So let's talk about the different categories, 0 to 2 years apart.
Yeah, so the pros of this is that you're sort of getting the infancy baby stage over with all at once. You kind of seamlessly go from one child in diapers to the next without a big gap. Of course, the downside is you're exhausted, but when you're done, you're done. So, the trick is to just sort of keep your expectations realistic, especially in terms of what you expect from the child who's like 2 when her brother's born. Just sort of expect that there's going to be some sharing disputes and, wanting mommy all the time and stuff like that. So there'll be some tough years ahead of you.
Okay. What about 2.5 to 4? That's what my brother and I were. And
yeah.
I was like mommy's little helper.
Yeah, that is I think probably a really common age interval between kids because your older child has somewhat more of a life going, than the younger one. They may go to preschool for part of the day and they may be really into the idea of being a sibling, having a younger brother or sister, and you can explain it to them in a way that you can't really explain to like a 9-month-old.
Right.
So, you can really involve that child a lot in everything, which is great.
And what about, you talked about explaining it to them, if they're not so happy that they have a sibling, can you reason with them? Can you explain the positives of having a little kid?
I mean, one downside is they're kind of disappointed when this little baby isn't out there playing catch with them. They don't often get it. They're just so excited they're going to have a sibling, and then it's like, oh, that sibling doesn't really do much, and then they start crawling and getting into their stuff. So, it can be hard. And a 2.5-year-old is way more mature than a 9-month-old, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with a very young child, so you do have to sort of keep your expectations realistic about what they can do. But a lot of times they're just really excited about the whole thing, so you can really maximize that.
That's fun. What about if you're spacing it out quite a bit, 4 years and up, 5, 6 years?
Well, sometimes the advantage to this one is that you get to savor babyhood all over again. Like when you have the back-to-back, or even the ones that are 2.5 years apart, it can just be like, oh, it's just like a blur of exhaustion. But this one, if you had the older one like 5 years ago, it's like, oh, that baby phase again, and this time how fast it goes. So you really do stop and appreciate, just how wonderful having a baby is.
And you're probably an old pro at that point.
Yeah, right. You're pretty seasoned. And people worry that they're older, that the kids aren't going to be close, that they are so far apart. There's not a lot they're going to have in common. So that's the downside. But it often catches up by later on in life. They're often good friends, even if when they were younger they didn't have that much going on together.
Maybe not in the high school years,
yeah,
but later on.
But later on,
All right.
they'll have each other.
Kate Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.